Darren Gumbley coming to the start with the Force TA, qualified on a 51.75. So we've no shared cars in the runoff. Once we get going, it should go well. And Darren is off away. 2.11 for the first 64 foot. He's already charging down towards S's, and on S approach, 9.51 is the split. Through Chippies up towards Country Corner, and the split going into Country, 20.62 towards and out of Willow, up towards Orchard now. The split just before Orchard, 31.4. Up through the farm buildings, into Farmhouse Bend, powers out of the corner through the next split, 43.48. Just the final time to come, and Darren over the finish, 51.66. Jack qualified on a 51.15. Clark's 2.21 for the launch. Not as quick as Darren. Down into the S's, 9.59. He's closing in a little bit. Through Chippies, up towards Country Corner. 20.44. He's up on the clock already. Heading out of Willow, up towards Orchard. And the split just before Orchard, 30.95, so half a second up on Darren Gumbley at that point. Into Farmhouse Bend, Jack Cottrill exits Farmhouse. The split at Farmhouse, 42.83, so still that half second advantage. Through Quarry, over the finish, 50.63. On to the start line, the Welsh wizard himself, Eynon Price, in another of the Force TAs. Eynon qualified on a 51.03 and came 10th in the first runoff. Away from the start, charging towards Clark's, 2.01 for the split. Down towards the S's, quickest there, 9.23. Sweeping round Chippies, heading up towards Country Corner where we get the next split. And it's 20.4, just ahead of Jack Cottrill. Through Willow already, charging up towards Orchard. 31.46, the slowest to Orchard of the three so far. Eynon Price into Farmhouse. On Farmhouse exit, it's 43.47, only just up on Darren Gumbley at that point. Over the finish now, and the clock stop at 51.87. And he drops into third place. Next to the start line, already on the start line, in fact, is Lee Griffiths in the OMS 28. Lee qualified on a 50.76. Away from the start, heading towards Clark's. The split at the first 64 foot, 2.12, just slower than Darren Gumbley. Down into the S's, it's 9.44, second quickest behind Eynon Price. Heading towards Country Corner, 20.11, that's the quickest to Country. Through Willow, now en route towards Orchard. Get the split just before he gets into Orchard, 30.63, again the quickest. Up to Farmhouse, Lee Griffiths looking to score points in the runoff. 42.65, quickest to Farmhouse exit, and now round the finish, over the finish line, 50.71, goes second to Jack Cottrill. Onto the start line, number 9, David Warburton. Warburton is away from the start, heading towards Clark's. 2.36, slowest start so far. What can he pull out? 9.62, again slowest down into the S's. Round Chippies, heading up into Country Corner. 20.27, second quickest behind Lee Griffiths at that point. Up towards Orchard, the next split, 30.69, still tucked in behind Lee Griffiths at that point. What can he do on the farmhouse exit? Is it going to be enough to get him ahead of Lee? 42.63, that's the quickest to that point. What can he do at the finish? Over the finish, 50.48, quicker than his qualifying. So onto the start line, Richard Spedding. He qualified with a 50.20, the GWR Raptor. He's away, heading towards Clark's. 2.06 for the launch, second quickest behind Eynon at that point. Down into the S's, 9.05, quickest by far. Rounding Chippies, heading up towards Country Corner. 19.48, the first sub 20 at that point. So Richard Spedding charging up towards Orchard. The Orchard split 29.79, the first sub 30. Into Farmhouse Bend. Through Farmhouse, 41.28, the first one in the 41s. Just Quarry to negotiate over the finishing line, 48.98 into the lead. Dave Uren now onto the start line. Dave qualified on a 49.67 with the Gould GR55B. Visor down and away. Kind of juddering as it goes off the start line. 2.33 for the launch. Heading down into the S's, 9.24, so just behind Eynon Price at that point. Dave Uren out of Chippies, heading up into Country Corner, 20.07, second quickest at that point. En route to Orchard for the next split, 30.23. Again, second at that point, only Richard Spedding quicker. Through Farmhouse Bend, exiting Farmhouse, 41.57, still behind Richard Spedding. Can he pull it back on that last run? Over the finish, 48.78, 2/10 quicker than Richard Spedding into the lead for Dave Uren. Moving forward to the line, number 5, Trevor Willis. Trevor qualified his OMS 28 on a 48.83. He's away, heading towards Clark's. 2.1 for the launch. Third quickest at that point, but 8.84 into the S's, so quickest by far. Trevor Willis out of Chippies, heading up into Country Corner, 19.26. Again, quickest at that point. What can he do on the approach to Orchard? Can he get in the 28s? No, it's a 29.34, still quickest though. Heading towards Farmhouse. Trevor round Farmhouse, keeps a nice tight line. 40.72, quickest by far out of Farmhouse, just Quarry to go. And he's through the finish, 48.02 into the lead. So, coming to the line now, Scott Moran in the Gould GR59J, qualified on a 47.98. Scotty was second in the first run-off. Revs rise and he's away. Heading towards Clark's, 2.15 for the launch. Not the quickest, but it's good enough. Down into the S's, 9.07. Just a little bit behind Richard Spedding at that point, but the power will now start to kick in. Scott Moran charging up into Country Corner, 19.34, just tucked in behind Trevor Willis at that point. Up towards Orchard, 29.23, quickest to Orchard. Into Farmhouse Bend, round Farmhouse, 40.31 into the lead. Can he hold that to the finish? Over the finish line, 47.46 goes into the lead. Moving forward to the start line at the moment, Alex Summers in the DJ Firestorm. Revs rising and away, heading towards Clark's 2.01 for the launch. That's equal to Eynon Price. Down into the S's, 8.61, our fastest into S approach. Summers round chippies, heading up towards country. 18.78 into country corner. That's our quickest so far in this runoff. The run now up to Orchard. Into Orchard split 28.65. The first one in the 28s. Into Farmhouse Bend. Power on early, smoking his way up the straight, 39.73, up through Quarry, over the finishing line, 47.15 into the lead of the runoff. Moving forward to the start line, Matt Ryder, the Gould GR59J. Revs rise and he's away, heading towards Clark's, 2.23 for the launch. Quicker than Dave Uren at that point. Down into the S's, 8.9. Third quickest there. Rounding chippies. Clipping the thwacker posts as he goes. Up into country corner, 19.09. That is second quickest. Behind Alex Summers. Matt Ryder charging up towards Orchard. 28.73. Just a tenth behind Alex Summers at that point. Rounding Farmhouse Bend, exiting Farmhouse, 40.08, dropped a little bit there. Through Quarry, over the finish, 47.19, goes into second place. Wallace Menzies qualified with a 47.66. Time to beat, 47.15, set by Alex Summers. Eyes are down, Revs rise and he's away. 2.09. It's fourth fastest at that point, but 8.69. Second fastest behind Alex Summers down into the S's. Coming out of chippies now, up towards country corner, 18.89. Still tucked in behind Alex Summers at that point. Up towards Orchard, into Orchard to 28.72, still behind Alex Summers at that point. Can he pull it back? Into Farmhouse, out of Farmhouse Bend, 39.69, into the lead for Wallace Menzies. Just Quarry to negotiate, and over the finish, we've got our 46 seconds, 46.86. Yet another hill record to Wallace Menzies here at Harewood, and a victory number 2 on our first weekend of the British Hillclimb Championship at Harewood. So that concludes the fantastic record-breaking weekend at Harewood. We hope you've enjoyed the meeting. We look forward to seeing you here again later in the season. This is Steve Wilkinson signing off, wishing you all a safe journey home.